this is one of your segments with your pregame show with Brian and Tana is you guys talk about the keys to winning.
Yeah.
And, there's the obvious, right? Don't turn it over. They've been really good at that.
That's one of them.
But what is specifically you think this week for Washington to
try to keep Kyler boxed in?
If they win this, it's 3 in a row and they're 3-1.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn good.
But if you can keep Kyler kind of boxed in a little bit, don't let him, get outside and break contain, that gives you a much better chance of winning. And as I would say every week since I watched them in the Giants game, don't hurt yourself. All the penalties at inopportune times doesn't work. The false starts, and they got better last week, up there in as soon as I said, no team has any penalties, then bang, 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 they come up.
Right.
But they play clean. I think they have to play some clean football and don't help the team beat you, point blank.
I think the refs last night were god awful, and
they've been very awful this week.
I loved Al Michaels taking shots at him too. I feel like Al Michaels kind of holds back, and he was pretty strong last night. For me, looking at this game and looking what Arizona does, the defense has just got to be better across the board. And maybe it's as simple as better tackling. Maybe it's as simple as getting to the quarterback. Kyler, like you said, Kyler in this thing, I think is relatively terrifying. I think a guy that can run and pass like that. I mean, I'm not comparing him to Baker Mayfield, but you saw Mayfield torch this team week 1.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones, who's relatively mobile, they were able to win, but Jones to Neighbors had a lot of success in that game.
Yep.
I think Kyler's going to be a major problem. When you've got a quarterback, a team, Cliff's only been gone out here for a year, basically.
Yeah.
I asked Joe Witt about it because I was curious, but he kind of backed up what I had thought. A lot of people will make a lot out of, like, a lot of fans will be like, oh, Cliff knows those players in their system. Like, have Cliff tell you the plays. And so I asked Witt about it yesterday.
It's a whole new offense.
Right. Well, I asked Witt, I was like, hey, Cliff has increased familiarity with this team. Will you kind of lean on him more this week? And he's like, man, the coaches all talk all the time, but it's not like Cliff knows what plays they're calling and when they're calling them.
See, I like Joe. Joe is like cut and dry.
Real.
He like, listen, man, yes, but we still have to stop the play that's called. Like, everybody's like, oh, man, they letting him go to a division rival. He going to know our offense. Do they know when the hell the play is being called?
Right.
No. So that's the whole thing about it. And I think Joe's mindset is right. Cliff knows more of the makeup of Kyler Murray than he knows anything about the offense they're running. He understands they're going to try to do stuff that's similar to what he did for Kyler, but it's going to be a total different mindset, a total different, scheme. But he could tell you what he likes to do, and you could look for it. But when you get in the game, are you going, okay, yeah, it's third down, but he may run it somewhere else. He likes to spin all this, that. But if you're thinking about all that stuff, like I always say, if you're thinking on the field, you're wrong.
Totally.
So you just got to go out there and react and play. But you can have some schemes set up to try to influence him to do certain things. That's the only thing you can do. I will give a person. This is how confident I was when I was with Coach Gibbs and Andy. I will give you the playbook on Wednesday. And then you come into the game, and I guarantee you still won't be able to stop it.
I'm trying to remember where I heard it. It was Scott Van Pelt's podcast I was listening to yesterday. Mm-hmm. During I ran 1 complete mile. That was all I had in me in the heat. But he said Stanford Steve is his boy, and Steve played college ball at Stanford, obviously. He said there's no greater feeling than running the ball when the other team knows you're going to run the ball.
Bruh.
And you look at the Ravens-Cowboys game last week. Think about the great skins teams you were on. Think about elite NFL teams throughout time.
Yeah.
They're going to run the football. The defense knows they're going to run the football. Everybody in the
Everybody in the
stands
stands knew it.
knows they're going to run the football. The refs know it. The coaches know it. The people watching at home know it. And you still do it.
At that point, you got to drop a set. See what's going to happen.
People overestimate the familiarity of the opposition.
You know what happens in that, though? Coaches, especially O coordinators, D coordinators, they promote themselves by talking about all that stuff. And then what the media does is take it and run it into a certain situation. And then a lot of fans just hear tidbits and they just run with the little information. And it becomes a big thing that it's that important. The NFL, like you said, they always want people to be very, very even. It was a rule, and it probably still is in the league, where after 4 weeks, you send out your film to everybody. They get to watch everything you do. Put people in a room and dissect everything you do. First down, second down, third down, fourth down, first and short. Second and short, second and long, second and medium, third short, all that stuff. After 4 weeks, you should do that. And then know they do? They do it in 4 more weeks, because if you made adjustments, then they get to see your adjustments.
Right.
And then they go to play you. They already know everything you run. They know at that point, after 4 weeks, they know what you run, who you want to run certain things. They know personnel groupings. They know all this stuff. But all of a sudden, it comes down to, what do we talk about preseason? Where teams don't scheme up stuff. They want to see you go one-on-one with that guy and see if you can beat him. That's what it comes down to ultimately in football. I don't care what Clifford's scheme is. I don't care what the D coordinator of the Cardinals scheme is. I don't care what Joe's scheme is. I don't care what the offense coordinator of the Cardinals. It comes down to one guy wanting it more than the other damn guy.
Sure.
Because when Marvin Harrison lines up and he's on the inside of that damn number, somebody think he's gonna run a bang 8 or he's running something to the sideline. They know it. But he runs the route, and then right at the top of his route, if he gives you a little here, you stumble or you fall inside, and he runs right where you knew he was going anyway. Ain't nothing you can do about it. The next time, he catch you leaning a little bit. So instead of, he told Kyler, I'm going to make an adjustment. So he's coming, boom, 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 and he give you a little something. When you jump, he just sits down here. You can't make the right decision. And then all of a sudden, you break on it. Last night, when they threw the ball, I think it was
CD, that sound?
No, it was a ball right to Dak, threw it. The dude, no. It was a CD Lamb. But the ball was here. The dude's hand was right here. CD caught the ball any damn way. He wanted it more than the other guy wanted it. But we talk up schemes and all that stuff. Schemes don't play games. People play games.
If schemes mattered, and if schemes allowed you to eliminate what the opposition does, right? If it's, I can scheme my way out of this. Alex Ovechkin's got whatever, he's about to break Gretzky's
He's been
record,
sitting
right?
in the same spot.
Right. You know where he likes to fire off from that left side and just
do a damn
unleash
thing about it.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's across sports. Like, Steph Curry just pulls up and makes it rain, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows it, and he still does it.
Look, man, when Barry Sanders, I forgot who
man.
He was against the Bears, I think, and he made like 8 people miss. That wasn't schemed up.
Right.
He wanted it more than everybody else did, point blank. When you saw Earl Campbell, when a guy grabbed onto his shirt, and John Riggins, when he grabbed onto his shirt and he just left him pulling the damn T-shirt, he wanted it more than the other guy. It wasn't a scheme. Scheme don't win games, people. The players win the games. That's why I keep saying every player on this team have to put a little more into it. They got to begin to take ownership of this thing and stop waiting for someone to tell them what they need to do or what they. If you look at enough film, you know exactly what's going on. If you know how to look at film. And not all the people that claim, but when I was doing my film study and they watching the whole damn game in a matter of 35, 40 minutes. That's not watching film. That's watching TV. That's watching highlights.